Hey everybody, it's Tiffany from Quilter's Workshop, and today we're doing the part 2 video of how to make a quiet book or a busy book. So if you haven't watched the first part, this video will be a little bit irrelevant to you. So I'll link the video for part 1 down below, and in that video I give you instructions and ideas for 10 different pages on how to make your busy book. In this video, I'm basically going to be showing how to actually finish the book, so how to take your squares that we've made in part 1 and assemble them together, put the batting in between, and assemble the spine, and do the top stitching and all that good stuff. So I suppose if you've gone ahead and come up with your own block ideas and you're not sure how to put it together, then maybe this is helpful, but I definitely recommend heading over and watching part 1 first. Just so that it makes the most sense. And if you have any questions, my social media links and my email are listed in the description box below. You need to be very careful when you're doing this part. So when you lay out your pages, you can put them in a little stack of what makes sense for the correct order. Maybe it doesn't matter to you what order they go in, but if it does, I almost suggest putting them on little pieces of paper so that you can visually understand that this page needs to be connected to this page. So then that means you're not going to join, here, I'll show you over here. You might lay out your pages and think, okay, these need to go beside each other for the sake of, how you would turn the pages of a book, but you do not sew this page to this page. So what you need to do is work with the front cover and the back covers at the exact same time. So I'll just show you, for example. So this is my front cover, right? And this is my back cover. So what you're going to do is place your front cover and your back cover, these ones, right side down on a table. You're going to pick those up, right sides together, and sew them together edge of your foot so that those are attached. Now the inside cover, so when you first pick up the cover and you open it, the page that you're going to see first is what you'll need to put right side up. So if the cover is right side down, you need to put the inside cover right side up. And on this side, because this is the back cover, you need to find the last page. So the very last page of the book, and that's what you'll be joining together with the inside cover. Just so happens that these were the same fabric, but that doesn't matter. I didn't plan that out or know that they would end up beside each other. Actually, I probably would have chosen different fabrics if I had thought about that while I was sewing. So now this set of 4 pages, so you've got your 2 covers joined together and your 2 inside covers joined together. I've put a little pin up in the corner to keep those together because when we go to put this with our lining, we need these 4 pieces to be working together. So moving on from there, you're going to pick what's going to come next. So see, in my little sketch of the book over here, I had my name is and then the bag of extra letters. So if I turn the page in my book, I'm going to see that the next page after my name is I need the bag of letters, and I also need the clouds with the rainbow. So we're going to grab that just so I can show you. I've already done this part, but I just really want you to understand that the order that you put your pages together is not what you would think. So now we have, this is our inside cover, and technically page 1 is going to be the page with the extra letters, okay? So what you'll do with this particular block is you'll put this right side down the same way that you did for the cover, okay? So we're going to lay that guy right side down. Now, if you look at your sketch over here, I've got my name is with my bag of letters, so I'm going to put the bag of letters right sides down. And page 2 is our cloud. So then I'm going to pick up this block, the cloud and the rainbow, and that's going to go right side up because you're going to imagine that these are going to end up being together as one page, right? So we've got my name is bag of letters, and when we turn the page, it's going to be the clouds. And after that, I wanted to have the giraffe after that because I actually did intend on this part being the same material because I kind of wanted it to look like the giraffe's head was up in the clouds and that the rainbow matched the rainbows on the bow ties. So once you've got that, you would think to yourself that those need to get joined together because that's one spread of the page. But that's not what's going to happen. So from here, after the giraffe page, we're going to put him right side down. And the page after that is going to be my shapes. Okay, and this is now the center of our book because I'm working with that amount of pages. So I now have the equal blocks on both sides. So you need to just check, like working one way and working another way from the front cover and the back cover to make sure that it all makes sense. So in the middle of my book here, these get joined together. So I've sewed those together. Then these two pages here, which is my left and right page and my giraffe page over here, those get joined together. That's that right there. And so this set of pages and this set of pages are going to end up being a little group of 4 together. And then this page with the jellyfish and the rainbow and the puppy dog, that is going to be a little grouping of 4. And then the inside cover and the outside cover is also a grouping of 4. So all together I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 pages. So you're going to have 3 groupings of 4. Your outer and your inner covers, your first set of pages, and your second set of pages. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Just because I know that it is so tempting to just think, oh, I want these together, so I need to join those pages together, but not yet. So you need to sit down, make your little map with sticky notes if you'd like, or just do it with your fabric. And you just need to make sure that you're understanding the way that the book is actually working to know which pages are going together right now in this current step. Okay, so now that you joined your pages together in the correct order, this is the time to double and triple check it, by the way, because after this, you're either going to be SOL or have a whole lot of seam ripping to do. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use some flannel as my batting, basically. So if you have fewer pages than I do, I would recommend using a regular quilt batting so that it gives it that loftiness. But because I have quite a lot of pages, it's just going to be too thick. So that's why I'm just going to go ahead and use some flannel. Ideally, this would be some plain white flannel, but I don't have any of that. And you know that I'm all about using whatever you have. So you're going to lay down your inside. So whether that's batting or flannel or nothing, I don't recommend putting nothing, but I guess if you really didn't want to, or if you didn't have anything, you do you. Then you're going to put your first little set of pages right side up, and then the pair that goes with it right side down. Okay, now it's really important to line up your seams here. So hopefully you've pressed it so one seam is going one way and one's going the other way. Line those up, line up your corners, and then pin everywhere else as well. Okay, so when you have them pinned on top of your batting or your flannel, you're going to sew all the way around with the edge of your foot on the edge of the fabric. I've been leaving my opening at the bottom because I find that that's just the easiest for me. But leave a pretty generous size hole. Normally when I'm turning something like placemats or a table runner, I leave the hole really small so that it's as little as possible, so it's less noticeable, I guess. But for this, because you have a lot of parts that are not very flexible, I would recommend leaving it bigger so that there's less stress on everything when you are turning it. And then once you have sewn all the way around, you're going to trim off your excess. So I always leave extra for myself all the way around just in case anything slides. It just makes it a little bit more stress-free. So sew all the way around, trim it, clip your corners, and then we're going to turn them right side out. Okay, so now that we've sewn all the way around, 1/4 of an inch in, and I've clipped the corners like this. Now we're going to turn it through the opening. Okay, so I turned it and I pinned it nicely all the way around so that my edges are nice and crisp, and now I'm going to top stitch it. So this is optional. If you don't want to top stitch it at this point in time, you'll need to hand stitch your opening that we left at the bottom, but because I'm going to be top stitching it very close to the edge, about 1/8 of an inch away, that's actually going to close up my hole at the same time, and it's also a little bit stronger too. So at this point in time, you would do one of those two things. Okay, so now that we top stitched all of the individual page sets, you're going to lay it out and just double check that everything's in the right order, because now we're going to sew the spine together. So you're going to stack them all in the right order. So there's 3 of them, and remember how before we said it was really important to line up the seams? So now we're going to do that again, but we're going to do it for all of them. Okay, so we've got that pinned on. Now this is really, really thick. So what we're going to do is sew really slow. I think we're going to use a zigzag stitch. So you're going to want something relatively wide but narrow at the same time, and always start in a little bit. If you start right here, because your seam allowances are inside there, it's almost as if there's double the amount of layers through there, so you'll break a needle for sure, and the machine just won't get up over this little hump. So start back stitch your way back, and then come forward and down. And I think that a zigzag will just be a little bit more forgiving if any of your seams are off. If you stitch in the ditch right down here and you're not quite lined up, it'll look very obvious on the opposite side, and I think it'll be stronger too. Okay, so this is what the stitch ended up looking like. So I went for a zigzag stitch that was fairly large, and that's pretty much the last step. So this is what it looks like on the back side over here, and that's it. So aside from finishing up, I still have to add the Velcro to these wooden letters that go on the strip here, and just a couple of other little finishing touches. That's the end of our book here. So if you have any questions, my email address is listed in the description box down below, as are all of my social media links. That's where I post the most often. But if you have any questions, please let me know, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.